Hey, everyone. Welcome to the VO Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Ann Ganguzza, and today I am so excited to be with one of my favorite people, favorite humans, Dave Walsh. Dave,
Hey, my friend.
thank you. Thank you so much for being here. For those bosses that don't know Dave Walsh, I don't know how you can't, but let me just give you a little bit of an introduction. He has been one of the premier voiceover coaches for a long time. I mean, over 15 years, and a national voiceover talent for over a quarter of a century. And he has so many credits. I'm not even going to get into them because I think the most important thing that Dave brings to us is him, number one, and his coaching and the way that he can get us to be authentic and real, and your signature TrueTell story. And you know, Dave, it's 2025 and it's crazy out there. And I'll tell you what, my biggest question to you, which should start off like another hour's worth of conversation, but we'll try to keep it short. You know, how can we as voiceover actors and business owners, how can we, deal with the chaos that's happening in the world, and not, because I'll tell you what, I get anxious, I get nervous, and that just permeates me in the booth, and it permeates my business. So, I mean, I think that you will have some amazing words of wisdom for us, for bosses.
And I appreciate, first of all, to be here with my friend Ann, and I love, she and I can just spend time and just go off and just talk for hours. It's just kind of who we are. But the fact we're doing this with you folks and being part of VO Boss is just awesome. Ann did introduce me as being a voice actor for so many years, and we're going to get that out of the way. And what Ann's point was really a good one. This is our chat today has nothing to do with voiceover. It does, but it has to do with what in God's name are we supposed to do every day in a world that is so in flux. And to Ann, your point is everybody's afraid. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Yeah. So I think one of the things that we all seem to think is that this world has us by the you-know-whats, that basically the tail is wagging the dog, and that really permeates all of our personal lives and our professional lives, that we think that what is happening in this country and the globe is really the thing that is allowed to permeate the internal part of our lives, and that actually is external. And it's not being Pollyanna. It's not saying I'm sticking my head in the sand. It's saying that we as a collective universe need to work together for the better good of the world. I will just say that. That's as far as that goes. But when it comes to your own life, what are you doing? What if I gave you today the permission to live your own personal and professional life full throttle, living from your internal, your purpose, the values and the morals that you teach yourself, that you imbue into your career, into your business, and into your children, your spouses, your partners, and your extended circle of influence. So what we're going to talk about today is just the fact that that's really the key to being able to, we're in our home studios, and we're kind of every minute of the day, you're like, should I look at the website? Should I look at the news? What happened now? And the more you do that, it just continues to build that feeling of it's all closing in on you. And so that compresses your soul, that compresses and increases your stress, and doesn't give you the ability in these places that I call our creative caves, which are the best places in the world to be, especially to get away from your family.
Oh my gosh, yes. I have to say, I mean, aren't we fortunate that we can be in our creative caves?
Totally.
But yet, I think it poses a significant, maybe bigger hurdle for us to not, because our product, because our business is so personal to us, it is our voice, and that can be affected by so many external influences, and especially when things are chaotic around you, let alone family or the world. I mean, and so it really is a blessing that we can be in our booths to almost shield ourselves, but yet we also have to be careful that we don't allow it to permeate and affect our products.
Absolutely. And the other thing that is lucky for us in this business, I love that you're coming from the place of the things that we're lucky to have versus the negative detriments that we don't have. One of the things we do have is that ability to be inclusive. Our industry is incredibly inclusive. Those of you that joined Ann and I at VO Atlanta, one of the things I'm sure Ann could attest to this too. It was love in the room, and it wasn't
my gosh,
this
yes.
kumbaya
It was
kind of.
beautiful.
It was beautiful, and it was authentic. It wasn't, well, I need to say the right thing because there are eyes watching and ears listening, right? It was more of that our industry is inclusive, that it's
And so good for the soul.
oh
really.
my God, crazy. And because we're in our home studios, we normally don't have the ability to do those things and to share in the joy of being different. I said this a long time ago. Nancy Wolfson had a great saying. She might not even remember she said it. She said, "We are all clowns in a clown car."
Yeah.
And it's true.
Absolutely.
We
Absolutely.
are all clowns in a clown car. So in an industry that talks about connection, it's an industry that is all about empowerment. What we do, and I say this all the time, it's not a gift. It's not a career we have. It's a gift.
Yeah.
Voiceover in every format, e-learning, corporate narration, promo, trailer, radio imaging, I don't care what it is. It's a gift for us to be able to share and to be able to empower people to be informed, be reflective, be resilient, make them laugh, make them sad, whatever it is, that's our gift.
Yeah. And the fact that we can do that for a living right then and there should be number one, your thought of gratefulness for the day and hopefully helping you to not allow those things to permeate your product.
Yeah. Yeah. And it starts from, pardon my crassness, but who the hell am I in front of this thing? Like, why am I here? Other than the fact that, gee, I wanted to be a voice actor and I have studied and I've done what I needed to do. I've worked with Ann, I've worked with Dave, I've worked with other people. We've done demos, etc. Now what? Am I in front of this microphone because I feel like I have something to say? What's my TrueTell about the value of my soul, not the value of my voice? Ann's got a gorgeous voice. I have a good voice. Other people have a good voice. We wouldn't be in this business if we didn't have one.
Right.
But the question is, what do you do with it?
I think, I love to go even beyond like, okay, is it a beautiful voice? Of course, that's very subjective, right? We talk about like, I think you have a beautiful, right? I mean, we all have beautiful voices, but I think more so than the voice, it's the connection that we can have with who's on the other side.
Yep.
We're speaking through the microphone and we're connecting to human beings, and that's the beauty of it all. That I think is what's gorgeous. You have gorgeous voice. Well, really, you have gorgeous connection.
Yeah.
If you are doing it right, if you're doing it from your heart, from your soul, and the TrueTell, right, you are doing that from a connection that is more beautiful than I think any technicality that you can even, signify in your voice.
Totally. And I think watching your career and the way that what you've done with Boss and how that's evolved over the years, it started from a very specific area of business voiceover. And what it's expanded to is exactly what we're talking about, is every element of the human condition. What is the reason? What's the purpose? What your connection with your clients, the connection with the podcast, the connection with what the purpose of VO Boss is to begin with. What's the purpose of the TrueTell? Why do we do what we do? And I think the greatest thing is, before we came on here today, everybody, Ann and I were we had talked about generalities of what we were going to talk about, but there's so much to talk about that
Always.
We can find new creative ways of having these conversations that don't evolve. Let me see if I can really make the authenticity of this script sing. All right, yeah, we know that. But this is more about you. This is more about when you're in your home studio, or if you're watching this on your phone, you're watching it on your iPad, you're watching it on your computer, wherever you are. It's really about the value of what you do and how you live your life. That's what the basis of the way I work with clients comes from. Those of you that have worked with me in the last 6 months or so, you know that a lot of the work we do is based on purpose. It's based on how you thrive.
Absolutely.
How are we thriving in 25? What are the things we're doing to make us excited about the next hour, the next day, the next week, versus all of these bows and arrows that are flying over our heads? right?
Where do you find the resilience? I mean, I have literally the resilience. I have it tattooed on my wrist
know you do.
because I need to be able to like just remind myself of that on a day-to-day basis, right? Resilience, no matter what's going on in the world or what's going on in your life, to be able to, to look past that and find the things to be grateful for and the things to be joyful for, and to allow that to help you in not just your career, but in life, of course.
Yeah.
And in just finding joy, because if we allow it, all those external forces can really wreak havoc with our joy.
Completely. No question. I had a client I just worked with earlier today who had a journey of, I'll call it an unknown, that really didn't know where his life was going to go. And it's been meandering and for all of his life. And then he found to work with children and to be able to work as a counselor with children, which has spawned a book, which has spawned so many other pieces. And then voiceover fell into place only after he found that the value of his voice was helping children.
Love that.
That is so friggin' powerful.
Yeah, it's not the physicality of your voice. It's what your voice is doing, how your voice is affecting what you can. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love coaching, and I'm quite sure you do too, is that I love to be able to help people along on their journey. It's really not about, I know this material and I can teach it and, sell you a demo, but it's really more about allowing people or helping people to discover themselves and to hopefully be a small part of their journey as they discover themselves and joy and voiceover, whatever it might be. It doesn't always have to be voiceover, but we are a part of a creative journey of most of the people that we come in contact with, right, Dave? I mean,
Yeah, totally.
Some people don't ultimately end up doing voiceover, but I'll tell you what, I always feel, sometimes people will say, well, if you know that this person, I don't know, maybe they have a speech impediment, or maybe it comes hard to them. And so do you feel bad, or do you feel like you shouldn't be coaching them, or you should tell them the real truth? I'm like, to be honest with you, we're all a part of each other's journeys. Yeah. And if somebody wants to explore that aspect, I mean, I'm all for helping somebody along on their journey. It doesn't mean that, ultimately you will do voiceover for the rest of your life, but it's all about that discovery and joy. And I for people who say, well, do you feel bad? And I'm like, no, I don't, because I'm working with someone to help discover themselves, and I'm a small part of their journey on the way to whatever creative art they're looking to explore or find or discover.
What was the question they asked you? Or do you feel something about?
Do you feel bad? Do you feel bad taking money from students that you think won't ever make it in voiceover? And I'm like, I don't think about it in those terms. I think about everybody's on a journey. And if I can be a part of that journey in some small way in helping them discover who they are, discovering what they love, discovering their creative side, then no, I don't. And it's not like, it's not even about the money. It's about me having that experience and being able to guide them in the way that I know how. Yeah. And if they end up discovering things like, well, maybe this genre isn't for me, or maybe I don't enjoy that, or I don't find the passion, then I'm more than happy to say, hey, look, I know lots of people that work in other genres, or maybe this is what you were meant to do. Because a lot of times people are coming from a place of, they want to go to voiceover because there's a place of unhappiness, right? They hate their corporate job.
They want to fill the void.
They want to fill a void of something. And so, this is all just part of a discovery to me. And I don't know, does that seem like...
No, I think... I mean,
I'm like, here, give me your money. I mean, I'll be on a journey with you. It's not that at all. It's just that sometimes you just don't know until you try.
Well, and I'll say to people, they'll say, do you think I have it?
Yeah. Oh God, all the time. Sessions, right.
They'll say, do you think I have it? I go, I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
But there are some people that we do know from the first day, something's there. The people that you're like, there's something immediately here. There are other people, because everybody's different, really don't expect us after 2 sessions to be able to tell you the yellow brick road is this way.
Yeah.
I mean, we really don't know. So I think... They're
I'm
the
sorry, I didn't mean to
discover-
interrupt. I
That's
was
okay.
just going to say, I think that the people, when you meet with them, they are on a certain part of their journey where they've maybe had more self-discovery. And so when we listen to them and when they perform for us, right, or we give them something, a piece of copy, and we can hear something, like it's almost like a spiritual journey, right? Where they've
There's
evolved.
something. Yep.
Yeah, they've got something where they want to connect, right? And so I feel like a lot of it is that when they have self-realization enough
Yeah.
that they know that this is something that they really want, and it's actually, we can hear that.
Totally. And
Yeah.
I will say there's an example here of where for some people over the last several years, particularly middle-aged white guys, we've talked about this before, where some of these guys have felt like they've been thrown to the side because of Me Too, because of Black Lives Matter, because of DEI and all these elements. So is the culture, let's just kind of put this on the table. I had a client a couple of years ago who at the time, white guys were not an endangered species, but they were, they were out there. And so one of the things I said to this client who I'd worked with for years was, what are you passionate about? What are some things where you can move the needle to help your children, to help people, to help people in general? And so he got involved in political voiceover, which was something we discussed at VO Atlanta. It was a massive, that session was huge. And what happened was 3 weeks after that meeting, he booked his first political. And it was a subject matter that was very near and dear to his family. So what I'm saying to people, it's what you said, Ann, about there's that spark, there's that thing that they are connected to that you will hear and you will say, follow that dream, follow your soul. Notice I'm not even saying sound.
Right. Absolutely.
It's about following that soul. What is my purpose behind the microphone? And especially now for everyone. By the way, I'm Italian, so my hands always go up in front of my face. I just realized it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, people are watching me do this.
I get that.
It's a thing, Hello, Jerry.
It is a thing.
So what I'm saying is that giving yourself the grace to really focus on, if there's something you want to take away from this session today, this podcast is, what is something that is near and dear to your soul? What is a passion that lights a fire that gets you in front of this microphone effortlessly, where you're not worried, oh my God, how is Ann going to think this is going to sound? Dave is going to take me in class and he's going to think this is horrible, or no agent's ever going to sign me. And that's a very lonely place to be. But if you're coming from that place of purpose, trust me, your voice won't fail you.
Purpose is
everything.
everything. Purpose is everything. It really is.
Totally.
And finding your purpose. And just, bosses out there, I'm going to take just a moment to do a plug for my second podcast, which is called The Myth of You, Self-Awareness in a Digital Age. And we talk about we talk about the hero's journey and as you evolve and how you can rewrite that story. And a lot of that is based on understanding where myths came from and also understanding your purpose and discovering your purpose. And I really believe that discovering your purpose or finding your purpose is a propellant to really having you find joy and success in whatever career you decide to go into, and specifically if you want to be in voiceover.
Yeah.
Because people will say, well, if you don't have it, you should tell people. And I'm like, well, to be honest with you, who am I to tell somebody who has a passion? You know what I mean? That has a fire to really want to do something. How can I not try to help shape that? Or help them to discover how maybe, their passion can be turned into something that can bring them joy in their career, in their life, and in their life. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so, and I do hear when people say to me, I really want this. People will say to me, I really want this. And I'm empathetic towards that. But I will say, what do you expect what do you expect me to do with that? Like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. Because you want it so badly, it's going to materialize.
Right, exactly.
But I think to your point, it's about being more expansive in knowing where those passions can actually do good. It's maybe not necessarily in corporate narration. It could be in commercial, or it could be vice versa, or it could be tangentially to voiceover. It could be in improv. It could be in other areas where, again, those of you that have never taken improv, please take improv. It is so helpful. It really is helpful too. And again, from the world that Ann came from from the straight business world that improv has become a massive part of the business platform, particularly for people when they pitch, when they close, presentations, giving you that ability to loosen up as you do it. It's really interesting. But again, we're in I hate to say uncharted territory because we thought we were that 5 years ago. But we are in that now. And now it's up to each of us to really take care of ourselves, the self-care at home, the self-care in our home studios, the self-care of our professional businesses, of being able to know what your mission statement is, everybody. Those of you that have other businesses, your voiceover career is a business. What is the mission statement of your business? What is the mission statement of your brand? Look at that. Go back inside to look and see what the purpose behind your company is, the types of stories you want to tell, the stories where you know you are that purposeful. That's where you want to start. Start from the inside and work your way out. Do not start out here and work your way in.
I love that. And you know what's so interesting? And if you try to apply that to, voiceover genres, right? People will say, well, okay, the TrueTell, like, what is my passion? Is corporate narration my passion, right? And most people think, well, no, I mean, it seems boring. It seems like, well, and for me, I always tell people to try to look at it like everyone has a story, right? Yeah. Every company starts off, I want to think, right, that every company is formed because somebody had an idea that along the way would help somebody, right, to do their job better, to make their life easier. I want to feel that it came from a good place. Yeah. And if you can, and I, having worked in the corporate world and having been, I went through it all, right? I loved my job in the corporate world. I had a job that I hated. And so, having that experience, I was able to bring to my voiceover because I love the challenge of being able to find the story, of being able to say, okay, there are words in front of me that may not even tell a distinct story, like an obvious story, but yet somewhere embedded in those words is an idea that a company had, is something that they want to communicate to their potential buyers that I want to think can help them, help their, because why do you have a product, right? Why do you have a product or a service? Because you want it to help somebody to make their lives better. And so just understanding that concept from a view that's a little above it all can really help you to create that focus and find that passion and find that joy, because I want to find that story so that I can tell that story to a client and help them run their businesses better, make them look better, make them feel better, make them look better in front of their boss and make them feel loved, because most people that are really, I think, that are unhappy with their corporate jobs feel very underappreciated. They just feel like, it's of course, some of it might have to do with money, but I think a lot of it has to do with, well, gosh, I just worked my tail off for this company and I've just not been shown any appreciation and nobody knows what I do and nobody appreciates it. And I need that love, right? Yeah. We need that love.
Yeah, it's gone beyond that even to the point where they don't even feel like they have a voice anymore.
Exactly.
It's gone beyond recognition. It's gone to the fact that they have been so browbeated or have been pushed into submission that, figuratively, that they really, I've had clients come to me, corporate clients, who have lost their voice at work. So it's really palpable. It is. It's that culture where, and I think that the younger culture, more of the Gen Zs and the Gen Xs, are looking for from their leadership. They're looking for in every business. They're looking for authentic leadership. They're looking for vulnerability. Yeah. So it's one of the things when you're looking at a piece of corporate narration copy, if you're looking at a piece of explainer, know that there's a backstory to this.
Oh, always.
It isn't, and I got to tell you, I'm the geek that loves corporate narration.
Me too.
I love it.
Like, what's that backstory?
I love it. What's that backstory? Yep. What's
There's
going
a
on
challenge
here?
in finding the story in a lot of corporate copy because of the fact it's so nuanced.
Yep.
It takes longer, right, to get, because I always say corporate copy, there's always a sale in it in some way or form, because why else are you a company? Like, you don't create a company to not sell things. You create a company to sell things, whether it's an actual product or service or it's selling your brand.
Yeah,
it's still a sale, right? You want people to get on board with you so that ultimately, they'll buy from you.
Yeah. And that's what's going to make the first 3 seconds of your audition either connect or not connect.
Oh,
You're going
gosh,
to know
yes.
in the first 3 seconds if you
So
even care.
important. Yeah, I was going to say the first 3, like, and I'm always talking to my students about the first sentence in your audition, right? The first few words, like casting directors and anybody that, knows an actor will be able to tell within the first 3 words. So you have to come in with that backstory, understanding that story, and come in with your point. A point of view is like just the frosting, the beautiful frosting on the cake, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to have a point of view that somebody can say, oh, okay, I got it. I'm not quite sure yet, where that's coming from. But yes, there's absolutely connection there.
Yeah.
And it's going somewhere. And they're going to take me on that journey. They're going to take me on that storytelling journey.
Right. And again, if you're the corporate client, you don't know exactly sometimes why you like the audition. You just know you like it.
Exactly.
And so whether they're going to compare you to other people in the audition process, that's one thing. But there's something about the secret sauce that you gave them that they're like, ooh, I like that.
And then at the end, I always tell my students, well, at the end, if they just want you to read it pretty, well, then you got that. You don't need me for that.
Oh, my God. I love that you said that. I have said to people, there are going to be jobs, I swear
yes,
to God, I say this,
they're going to make you read it pretty.
Because you're pretty.
Yeah.
There are going to be corporate jobs.
Exactly.
Some jobs that come around and go, oh, I love her voice, hire her.
Yeah,
I love his voice or their voice, hire them. And be okay with that.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
And then there's going to be other clients that are much more discerning. So don't lay on the laurels of, I don't think either of us.
Of having a nice voice.
Exactly. Yeah. It's great to have those few clients that go, oh, let's bring her in. She's awesome.
Yeah. I actually work with a couple of students who are like, you know what, I think I've been relying on my voice. They have the golden pipes kind of thing. And, and like, I think I've been relying on my voice too long. And I want to be able to elevate. And so right there, the TrueTell, right? Coming in connected, understanding that backstory. And sometimes you have no clue. Like, you just have to really read those words and develop a story in which those words make sense, right? And make sense for the brand, make sense to you so that you can tell a story, even if it's not the story that they're telling, right? But nobody's going to know, but they're going to know that you're connected.
And I think the most disrespectful, I'm going to be dramatic because I am. Not really. Ever.
Oh, you're never dramatic.
Never dramatic. Never. That it is the most disrespectful thing you can do to go into an audition and not know the client's story. You really, if you go in and guess now, okay, there's going to be times, I know you're all going to say, oh, there were times I just rip and read it and I booked it. I get it. But on the whole, let's just be respectful of the company and the stories that you are reading.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actors do this all the time. It is respecting the material. Who's the first person that writers thank at an award show? They thank the writers. Excuse me, actors thank the writers right away.
Honestly, if you think copy is so important, and just as we go, as producers, demo producers, and when I write copy, I'm like, oh my goodness, those 3 sentences that I write for a demo spot have to bring out the actor, showcase the very best qualities, and then take the listener on a journey through 2 to 3 sentences of a 15-second spot, right? And so writing those words are so important. And so therefore, when you get a piece of copy, like who do you think you are running into your studio and just belting it out in that melody?
Totally.
Right? I love that you said that in the beginning. It's like, who do you think you are running into your studio and just belting it out? Like, oh, I heard this melody in my head. Sure. We all heard the same melody, by the way. And I know there's a science behind it, Dave, that we all hear that melody of when we read words, you know?
And then it sounds like...
It sounds away. Like a beautiful day. Well, maybe your beautiful day story started September 11th, right? And then, right? So then you wouldn't be telling that story by saying, it's a beautiful day. No. Well, it started like a beautiful day. Yeah.
We thought.
Exactly. Right. We thought. And so that story really has a lot to do with how you're going to, those first few words, how you're going to be telling that story.
And I think coupled with that is going back to what we were talking about, self-care, is a client, when they get the MP3, or if you have an audition on Source Connect, you have a recording session on Source Connect, and whatever has happened in your day prior to this, like you use 9/11 as an example, if you, God forbid, had an accident or there was a problem in your house or there was a financial problem or there was whatever the thing in your house is, and then you step into your creative cave, it's finding the ways of self-care to be able to get into the booth and separate the two so that you're able to be present for the client, be present for the story. That the problems you have over here are going to be there, but using tools that I give you, that you give them, to be able to center that story so that it is authentic when you tell it. And then you're not going to send an email along with the MP3 going, I'm so sorry, but I had a car accident on the way in and I may sound a little stressed. That's not going to work. So it's finding that ability, pardon me, in that home studio to find that level of self-care.
Yeah,
It's huge.
absolutely.
All of this points to purpose. It all points to how we do this. And
I love that you said that, because honestly, it's like purpose for ourselves. And then I'm always saying, well, when you're analyzing copy, right, what is the purpose of the copy? That's the very first question I have my students ask. What is the purpose? What is the intention of the copy? What are they trying to do? Is this a sell? Are you trying to educate someone? Are you trying to entertain someone? I think honestly, because in order to get somebody to listen to you, and you know, we're all very kind of self-centered, right? When I'm finally relaxed at, you know, in the evening and I turn on my television, right? Or I'm, you know, doom scrolling. It's like, what do I pay attention to?
Talking about?
Yeah. What do I pay attention to, right? It's really we are very selective on what we choose to listen to. We're busy people. We got a lot of things flying at us. And so you need to be able to grab the attention right away and have a purpose so that you're allowing people to like hear that in the first few words.
Because they'll hear the desperation. They'll hear the stress. They'll hear here's another audition and I don't know if I'm going to get it. I might as well just do it anyway. Why in God's name would you walk away from an audition feeling that way anymore? This is why I'm saying giving yourself full permission today, now, to really understand that it comes from internal, it comes from self-care. If you're continually walking away from microphones feeling horrible, let us know. Because that's got to stop, and it's got to stop today because it's not working for you.
Absolutely.
Got to stop doing that.
My gosh, we could talk for like another hour.
God, you and I
think about this.
Yeah, no. I mean, you know, you're like, and people might be watching going, what the hell are they doing? I'm like, this is what we do. And when she said, do you want to come on VO Boss? I'm like, yeah. Like there's so much, but to be honest with you, we do it because we care. I wouldn't talk about what I do. You wouldn't talk about what you do if we didn't care. True.
Oh my gosh, no. Yeah, this is not about, you know, this is not about us trying to sell you a coaching session. No, it really isn't. It's about I want you to feel that joy of connection, that joy of your purpose, the joy of, you know, and it's not doesn't even have to be about voiceover. It really doesn't.
No, it's about feeling, we've got enough going on in this world that feeling miserable or feeling less than, and I'll say what I say at the end of every seminar and every workshop, never let anybody silence your voice, especially, and I mean this isn't political, this is a human issue. Never let anyone silence your voice. It is not necessary. It is not human. It's not decent, and it's wrong. So always be sure to treat other people with respect. Use your voice for good in whatever way you want to use that, but make sure it's used for good. And you'll know the difference when you say it. If it feels good, it was for good.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God. How lovely to have you here, Dave.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I love being with you. This was a great way to just right in the middle of my day. I'm like,
I know, right?
For a while.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
Coming and talking with me and the bosses, and you are just amazing, and we all just love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, bosses, for taking time to be with me and with Ann today. Thanks so much, everybody.
I'm giving a great big shout out to IPDTL. You too can connect and network like bosses. Find out more at IPDTL.com. Bosses, have an amazing week. Yeah, take care of yourselves.
Bye, everybody.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.